Coming up next, it's the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive. Your emails, your tweets, your comments from all over the world, discussed by David Harrow and myself. But without further ado, let's go to our host, Linda Kay.
Hello and welcome to PWR Interactive. I'm your host, Linda Kay. This show is about you, your emails, your tweets, your Facebook comments. Now let's get to the very first email. This email comes from Jake. Jake says, I was wondering what your thoughts are about the current Jericho-Bourne rivalry. I personally think that their last two matches have stolen the shows for both the Fatal 4-Way and Raw this past week, showing that Jericho still has it, and Bourne has a lot of potential. Gentlemen, David Harrow, David Nelson, your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Linda Kay. David, how are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm not going to use tremendous anymore because I have a funny hunch it's going to be stolen again.
The current Jericho-Bourne rivalry. We've talked about this on our ESPN radio show. They've had a couple matches over the course of the last weeks on WWE's pay-per-view last Sunday and Raw this past Monday night. Jake wants to know our thoughts on that angle, and I will tell you this.
It's not a rivalry.
Okay.
It's not. It's not a feud.
Okay.
It's a stepping stone for Evan Bourne.
Stepping stone.
Yeah.
Jericho's a stepping stone.
Right now he is. Jericho is on his way out. He's going to go do some TV show,
Downfall, I believe is the name. There's a $1 million prize in that game.
It's kind of funny how NBC is Vinnie Mac's media partner.
Right.
But he's doing a TV game show for ABC.
Seemingly done
which
on his
is
own,
Disney
by the
owned.
way. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And you speculated that this may have Jericho in not the best of situations with WWE.
You know what? But Jericho can job out from now until next Christmas. It's not going to make a difference because he's such a big star.
Mm-hmm. So why Jericho, as it pertains to this Evan Bourne situation?
Because Jericho is going to be gone for a while. Let him do business the right way. Let him help make some. Triple H isn't there.
Right.
Okay, Sheamus already put him over once. John Cena's not going to do it because they're both baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton's not going to put him over.
Okay.
Jericho makes the most sense.
Thank you for that email,
Besides,
Jake.
Cody Rhodes is on SmackDown, so he can't beat him.
Oh, you now are aware of that, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go back to Linda Kay, who wants to talk a little bit about Twitter and YouTube. Linda, take it away.
Thank you very much for your feedback, gentlemen, as always.
Anything for you, Linda.
Did you know that the Pro Wrestling Report is on Twitter? Follow us under username PWR Show and stay up to date with all the latest hot news. Right, David?
2,000 followers we got now. We're on the road to 3,000.
Very sweet.
Maybe we should change our icon picture to you.
If you guys want. All right, now some of our favorite tweets of the week. Sexy Teddy Bear 23 says Bryan Danielson is awesome, unlike The Miz, who is nothing but a jobber world order leader. Okay, all right. Ringside Access says PWR Show's new We Want Bryan shirt is epic. Love the tie replacing the Y part. I'm ordering 2 shirts.
It's a hot item. That's beating out DHHS's t-shirt.
Ooh, it's hot. All
Thanks,
right.
pal.
G. Bush 2004 says Cole and Matthews kept referring to Cody's finisher as skull crushing. I think Rashi Brown should sue.
You may just.
And Rhino Barrow says PWR Show is the hottest online show ever. Thank you very much for your tweets, everyone. Now it's time to get into our YouTube viewers of the week. Do you know that the Pro Wrestling Report is the most watched pro wrestling news program in all of YouTube with nearly 4 million viewers to date? Have you subscribed yet? Just click on the YouTube icon at pwrshow.com to get updated whenever new shows are posted. All right, now let's go to some of our favorite YouTube user comments from last week's episodes. Smokestorm88 says NXT is a laughing stock. They beat down a referee. Wow, they're tough. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Okay, all right. All right. Me Thinks 995 says Rashi Brown laying down the law. I love it. He's the only one who's not a mark or a smart, just logical, and that's what wrestling needs. Logic.
Must be talking about David.
Not talking about me.
And Mountain Man 84 says, I think people just want some talent that is fresh and isn't all the same generic looking, generic acting crap.
That's why we have you.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. All right. And lastly, Wrestling RIP3 says NXT is a poor man's NWO. All right, thank you guys. And let's get to our second email of the night. Comes from Kia out of Lubbock, Texas. Kia says, do you guys think there is a possibility that the anonymous GM is The Rock?
No.
No. Really?
Who in the blue hell would ever think The Rock would be that guy?
Well, apparently Kia from Texas does.
You know what? Texas just needs to keep watching Maurice. That's what they're good at.
Explain the Texas Maurice connection.
Well, you know, we
I'm
had
not
the,
sure
we
I
had the one
understand.
caller who'd always call in the show
On
Monday
last
nights.
Monday's ESPN radio show.
And
yeah.
he just always wanted to talk about Maurice and how his TV screen kept falling over all the time.
Where was the TV screen?
Right in front of him. Something about his hand slipping and knocked it over. And
We've got a lot of questions about this subject. So many people it could be. It's a good situation to be. I think we have another question down the road about this as
you
well.
know what the
But
amazing thing is?
what's that?
Who cares?
I think a lot of people care.
But why? Why right now?
I think it's true. Well, we'll talk about it later. But a lot of people care why right now because there's some intrigue behind this anonymous general manager who's communicating via email to Michael Cole.
Uh-huh.
I think there's some intrigue there. I'm intrigued.
Well, I think it's going to be a major letdown. I mean, really, who do you hope it's going to be? Who would make you say, wow, that's great?
At this point, really, nobody.
Yeah, so even if it is Daniel Bryan, or if it's Jim Ross, or if it's The Rock, it's not going to make one bit of difference. It's not going to sell any more pay-per-views. It's not going to increase the ratings.
Okay.
You don't agree?
No, I didn't say I agreed or disagreed. I'm playing switch.
Well,
Call me the cause.
Okay, Kaz.
You on the Facebook?
Well, I'm on the Facebook.
Let's take it back to our host, Linda Kay.
All right, now it's time to get to our third email of the night. Third email comes from John Orchard of Wiltshire, England, from across the pond.
Love across the pond.
John says, I was watching a promo from Matt Hardy today on YouTube entitled Matt or Matthew, and for the first time in ages, that promo really made me pay attention to what he was saying. I was listening to what he had to say, and it felt like I had to listen. I was not being forced to listen, as is the case with so many bland backstage WWE promos today.
Bland?
Bland.
Must not be talking about The Miz.
I don't know. All right, my question is this. Promos are meant to draw people in and draw interest in a match and sell pay-per-views and tickets. Do you think the art of a promo has been lost in the WWE due to scripts? Thank you for all the work the PWR show has done. It's tremendous.
Love that
Dave here,
word.
Damian Nelson, your thoughts?
I do really love all of our people from across the pond, which is not a slight on our domestic fan.
Not at all. They bought a lot of DHS shirts.
It's a hot seller. And we want Brian's shirt is coming close though.
You know what? I'm a little. I don't
Yeah,
want to
he-
say jealous,
These shirts have
but a guy that nobody knows is trying to outsell my shirt.
I think Rashi explained it fairly perfectly this past Monday on ESPN radio show. I think the term he used was catching fire.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Daniel Bryan's in a great spot.
The
But we're
art of
talking
the
about
promo.
promos.
Has it been lost due to WWE
Extremely
scripts?
lost. It's terrible. You know, back when The Rock was doing promos in Austin and Mick Foley and NWO and all they did is they got a few bullet points and like, here, run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, here's a script, memorize your lines. Chris Jericho and The Rock when Jericho first came into Raw. How great was that?
August 1999, I was there in Chicago's Allstate Arena.
That stuff is gone. It
Oh, wait, no. It doesn't matter what your name is. I think that was the first time he used that.
It may have been.
And the next night, that was when Triple H called Chyna here in Milwaukee's Bradley Center an ungrateful little bitch. Right to her face.
Yeah. Well, and at the time she was.
Oh, wow!
Well, I mean, he was with Stephanie then, and she was getting frustrated. So, but yeah, right now the only ones that really have that freedom are the guys on TNA. Ken Anderson has a few bullet points. Here you go, Ken. Go do your stuff, and he's succeeding.
And that much talked about Jay Lethal, Ric Flair promo from
Ad-libbed.
last Thursday on Impact, exactly. And it's funny, especially when you hear that it was ad-libbed, and to see the reactions and know how real they were. Flair's wows, I can't remember him ever.
Woos.
No, his wows.
Oh,
remember?
yeah, wow.
I think
Yeah.
Lethal caught him off guard. Wow! Wow! I mean, it was just really, it was like Yo Mama on MTV. Remember that whole back and forth thing?
It was great. And for the people that think Flair's upset about this whole thing,
Yeah,
this has added another year to Flair's career.
absolutely.
Because it's bringing a whole new audience to him. And, now it's Jay Lethal against Ric Flair, all because of a great promo that the fans are now emotionally invested into, which I said wrestling's been lacking.
Mhm.
Now there's an investment with both guys.
Without Flair's fodder, if you will, would Jay Lethal be anywhere near where he is now?
No. I mean, Jay Lethal...
Is he a one-trick pony? I mean, clearly he's not, but what is the fans' expectation level of Jay Lethal, especially after that promo, as we talk about
Well,
the art of promos last Thursday on it?
Jay Lethal is a very, very talented guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Always has been.
He's amazing in the ring. He's young. He's only 25. But, when he's Jay Lethal, he doesn't get the same reaction as when he's Black Machismo or the Ric Flair persona.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can say the same thing about Mick Foley. Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. Mick was great as Cactus Jack, just like Jay is great as Jay. But when they get to tweak themselves a little bit, they become that much more marketable, and they make a lot more money.
But this is a stepping stone, if you will. Jay Lethal's situation currently now with Ric Flair, it's a stepping stone because that gets him noticed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he is in a program with one of the top 5 wrestlers in the history of the business.
Yeah.
And you know what? Last week I made the comment, who was Ric Flair put over?
Mm-hmm.
As far as being in the wrestling ring, it's going to happen at the next pay-per-view. Because Jay Lethal's going to beat Ric Flair.
Is that too fast? Should that match be happening now? July 11th
You know what?
at Victory Road?
You know what? Now that I think of it, maybe Rick might go over with outside interference.
To carry it forward,
Yeah.
pay it forward, push it forward.
You know what? There's money there. There
Yeah.
really is. They can do a lot of cool stuff with that.
Speaking of money there, next week, $1 Million Stars, a special edition of the Pro Wrestling Report. We value stars as to how much money they could be worth in their respective companies. And it's going to be a controversial episode, to say the least. You can see that next week at pwrshow.com. Thank you, John from Wilshire, for that email. Basically, the answer, yes, the art of the promo is indeed lost in most situations. But at the same time, if you're WWE and to a degree TNA, you want to control what's being said to ensure it fits within the parameters of your programming. So
I disagree.
let's take it back to
I disagree.
you have
Fine.
your entitled.
Linda, go ahead.
All right, time for email number 4. Email 4 comes from Robert Jones, who says, Dixie Carter has been hyping some changes that TNA will change the company forever. What do you think and want those changes to be? Where do you think TNA will be this time next year?
Thank you, Miss K. Next year, a year from now, TNA. I think we start here. Let's look back at a year ago. And we were right around Victory Road 09, where Sharmell and Jenna Maraska
Maraska.
had that horrible matchup. David Hero. It was one of the worst
It
professional
was
wrestling
the
exhibitions in the last 10 years.
It was terrible.
Horrible. What else was on that card about a year ago? I mean, obviously there was
Main
no
Event
Jeff Hardy.
Mafia.
There was no the Main Event Mafia was strong. There was no Jeff Hardy. There was no RVD. There was no Ken Anderson. So if you look at where they were a year ago,
There was
I'd look
no Pope or Orlando Jordan.
yeah. a
Companies
year
changed a
from
lot.
now, TNA. That's difficult to gather and to speculate on what Dixie's announcement may be. There are several things floating around out there, whether it be a deal with a new owner, a deal with a new investment company that may be looking to take more of a stake in TNA wrestling. So many options out there. Don't know what that's going to be. Won't speculate on it. But a year from now, TNA, I'm not sure we can really speculate on where it will be because they've swung so wildly in the last 12 months. Going to Monday nights with that failed outing, Hogan coming on board with the company, Mick Foley taking time away from the company. The stars have essentially all turned over in TNA wrestling. It's a whole different ballgame, whether that's good or bad. I don't know if I can speculate as to where they're going to be a year from now.
They'll still be in Orlando a year from now. That's much is for certain.
To that point, it's beneficial for them to do that. A lot of fans, including us, have said they need to get out of the Impact Zone. They need to take TNA on the road, take Impact on the road. I believe they're building to that, especially with the focus and emphasis they're putting on their house show business at this point. But I believe that they're getting paid each taping they do by Universal, and they don't have any costs really to incur as they would if they were taking the show on the road. So it's financially beneficial to them. However, you see the negative impact if you get a group of bad fans in that building, because really a wrestling show is only as good as the reaction to it from the live crowd on TV.
They got their work cut out for them if they want to make it another year. Because they're not...
Make it another year at all, you're saying.
Yeah, they're not making any money right now. They're not. There's no income coming in.
Well,
Big salaries?
there's income coming in, but it's all burned out before it even gets in.
Well,
In general.
In general.
All right.
Don't
Thank
get
you.
out about it, just my opinion.
Thank you for that email, Robert Jones. And I always love this part of the episode. Fan of the week. Linda, bring it on.
Thank you very much, guys. Now it's time to get to our Fan of the Week. PWR is now available live on Blog Talk Radio. Use the player on the PWR website to listen live and to get the show on iTunes. Remember that the best way to watch our shows is to go on the PWR iTunes app, now featuring exclusive interviews and other content. Get it now at the PWR website. Now, a fan of the week, Russell Clark from Nottingham, England, says, do you think Chris Jericho is behind the NXT invasion? He was the only superstar not to come out to save John Cena and was not standing on the stage when Bret was attacked. Given the fact that he was not in a match at Fatal 4-Way and that he used to mentor Wade Barrett, could he be responsible? Xavier or Danny Nelson? What do you think?
David, we talked earlier about this when someone speculated as to whether or not it was The Rock, and now Russell from across the pond speculating that maybe it's Chris Jericho. You said earlier, why are people so interested?
Now, they're a few hours ahead of us, right, across the pond?
Ahead, behind, someone.
So they may already know who it is.
Amen.
Wish they'd let me know. 'Cause then I can
Well, you
check
tweet,
it out.
right?
I'm always tweeting.
This is interactive. We talk about those kinds of things.
I doubt it's Jericho. Like I said earlier, he's doing his own TV thing. He's doing VH1. I think Jericho, if his contract is up, I think he's going to move on to other things after this.
He's got a lot of other things he can move on to.
And
He's
he's
a
made a
very,
lot of money.
very talented man.
And
However,
he's
though,
injury-free.
David, and he has said, though, he is at the top of his career. In a recent interview, he said he's at the top of his career and does not expect to retire anytime soon, basically saying, why would I?
Why is he at the top of his career right now?
He said it, not me.
No, but why?
Why?
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Not sure.
There's no Rock. There's no Austin. He hasn't really done anything with Triple H.
Yeah.
There is no glass ceiling for him right now. He's an MVP type guy. He's a go-to guy for the company. Because everyone else is like 28 and younger. You laugh,
If not
it's true.
Jericho, who's behind it? People have said Vince McMahon. People have said Michael Cole. People have said JR. Obviously, this anonymous GM could be the person. Now, to the point of the anonymous GM, I don't think they have a GM,
You know
which
who
is
it
why
could
they're
be?
running this gig.
It could be Shane.
Shane McMahon, Shane O'Mac, biggest swerve of the century.
It could be. I'm not talking about Virgil when he was Shane, you know. It could be.
Anything's possible.
Absolutely.
Anything's possible.
Honestly, I really don't care who it is.
Really?
I really
At
don't.
all?
No, not at all. I really don't.
Are you still a fan?
I am a fan, but it's not going to change if I watch it or not Monday night. I'm still going to tune
Should they?
in.
How long should they carry this out with wondering who's behind? And I think they've made it sort of clear that Wade Barrett's behind it, but is the intrigue better than the announcement of who is guiding NXT in this whole invasion gimmick?
Maybe.
You really don't care at all.
I really.
What if it's
don't.
Michael Cole?
That's an epic failure.
What if it's Jim Ross, which it won't be?
Failure.
What if it is Vince McMahon?
Okay.
What if it is
He's-
Daniel Bryan?
You know what? Vince McMahon was the higher power that The Undertaker answered to once before also.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch, JR says.
See?
It was me all along!
See? It's
You
been
all
done.
bought it! You all bought it! Hook, line, and sinker! You all bought it.
It doesn't make any difference. Let it be Daniel Bryan. People are going to try and say, who is that guy? Seriously.
What if it's Bret Hart?
You know what? It's like the movie The Wizard of Oz.
Ah,
The guy
there's no
behind the
place like
curtain.
home.
No one's going to care.
Pay no
It'll be
attention to
some
him.
munchkin. Follow the yellow brick road. It's not going to make a difference.
Bret Hart?
I doubt it. Here's the thing. If it's Bret Hart, what does he bring?
Nothing.
You have to bring somebody into the NXT invasion that can make the power, bring a balance, to the whole thing. Because right now, you take those 6 or 7 NXTers against 6 or 7 main event guys on Raw, it's a squash.
Yeah. Individually, one-on-one.
Even
you're
a
done.
tag, it's a squash. Do a Survivor Series style. John Cena's already beat the entire Raw roster on one night with Triple H. So you're telling me that they can't beat 7 rookies?
Well, they're not
That- no,
rookies
that-
anymore. They're the the first class.
I'm just saying. Remember that time on Monday Night Raw?
Oh, I
It was
remember.
Cena and Triple H, right? They were a
Mhm.
team together, right?
Yep.
They beat everybody on
Everybody.
ECW and Raw in
Yep.
a tag match.
Yep. But the fans loved it. But the fans didn't view it that way as a burial.
Well, you know what? It's time to re-educate them because that's what's going to happen. I like Wade Barrett. Super talented, great look, can talk the whole... He's no Lex Luger, but he's the total package. He can go. And he's going to get...
Well, Desmond Wolfe was
He's
Lex
going to
Luger.
get screwed big time in this whole thing. Much
Well,
like...
they dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Do you agree this whole thing has potential?
No, it doesn't. Name one guy on the Raw main event roster that's going to lay down for NXT.
Cena did, basically.
He didn't. He got beat up. Did he get pinned by anybody?
No.
No. And the only way he got beat up was by everybody beating him up. Not one guy came down there and did
No
it.
steam in this NXT thing, according to you.
No. Because
None.
it's going to come to a screeching halt.
Right now, as of this day, steam or no steam? You said it's going to come to a screeching halt.
There's
right
a little
now.
bit of steam.
Little bit.
Okay? It's the engine.
Is it stinking steam
It's
off
the engine
Ohio or
that
steam
could,
that...
but it won't. Because all those guys in the locker room are not going to put them over. Randy Orton going to lay down? No.
But people have said this for so long about Triple H as well, and how many people has he laid down for? Shawn Michaels.
His best friend. Has he laid down for Sheamus yet? No.
Triple
Yeah,
H?
he's put over John Cena. Why?
Clear that up. You asked if Triple H has laid down for Sheamus yet.
Sheamus hasn't pinned him yet. Has Sheamus beaten him yet? No, they've had one match at WrestleMania. The only reason why Triple H put over John Cena is because he was the ultimate heel against the ultimate babyface, and they made a lot of money together. That's it.
They have to find home with this NXT thing.
Yeah, it's going to be on Sci-Fi.
Thank you, Russell, fan of the week this week. And let's let Linda close this up, David.
Thank you very much, as always. And if you want to be our fan of the week,
Dave does.
simply send us an email with your question or comment to the PWR website at pwrshow.com. And while you're there, make sure to check out our new merchandise. And that wraps up this week's edition of PWR Interactive. Make sure to check us out always on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, and of course on ESPN Radio. I'm Linda Kay, and we'll see you next time on PWR Interactive.